What's going on, Exiles? It's Hegemony, and I wanted to give you guys an update of a brief overview of what I plan on doing in the upcoming Ascendancy Challenge League. As you guys know, I've made Elemental Proliferation Trappers and Flame Blasters. This time around, we have a new flavor to it. I'm going to be running a Witch Elementalist, and the reason is because her Ascendancy allows a couple of cool things. If we take a look at the tree, we have elemental damage and resistance. That's going to help early on for gearing. Paragon of Calamity. It says, for each element you've been hit by damage of recently, 40% increased damage of that element. For each element you've been hit by a damage of recently, 8% reduced damage taken of that element. So this means that if I get hit by fire damage, I'm going to increase my fire damage output, and it's also going to decrease my damage intake, and it will happen for 4 seconds. Moving on to the right side, we have 15% increased duration of elemental status ailments. That's going to increase the shock and ignite durations. We have increased elemental damage. Shaper of Desolation. This one is kind of a confusing one. It says 20% chance to gain elemental conflux for 4 seconds when you kill an enemy. While you have elemental conflux, all damage from hits will cause chills, shock, ignite. That means despite me doing 0 cold damage, I'll still be able to chill with my fire trap. And I already do lightning and fire damage simultaneously because of Herald of Thunder and the damage effectiveness on my skills. So this is an insane node, and you ask, well, Hedge, you're a trapper, this counts as self. How are you expecting to get elemental conflux? And the answer is, when you kill something with a degeneration mechanic, whether it's a bleed, whether it's poison or burn, that kill will get credited towards you. Even though on hits go to the owner of the entity, which in this case would be the trap. So that's why you don't take any reflection damage as a trapper unless your Herald of Thunder is going off. And speaking of Herald of Thunder, that's why you see the lightning bolt. You're like, what the hell? How is he getting the lightning bolt when he's throwing traps and he's not self-casting? And basically what ends up happening is I shock a target and it dies from a burn. Therefore, I successfully kill a target with a shock up, and the Herald of Thunder starts going off. Now let's talk about the bread and butter node of the Elementalist, and that is Beacon of Ruin. Elemental status ailments caused by your skills spread to nearby enemies, radius 9. This is very similar to the Elemental Proliferation Gem. However, there are downsides and upsides. It's not as big, it has a radius of 9, the Ele Prolif Gem has a radius of 12. But that is the only downside. We don't suffer that 21% less damage multiplier that Ele Prolif provides, and it has a 140% mana multiplier. So I'll be able to simultaneously shock, ignite, Prolif for very potent amounts because I don't have that watered down damage. In addition, this also brings my other traps in line with a 5-link. My Magma Orb, which is not previously able to Prolif because I didn't have Prolif linked to it, is now a 5-link. This essentially gives me a 7-link fire trap if I can get a 6-link chest. And it gives my Arc Trap a 5-link because it'll also Prolif. And the beauty about Conflux is when this buff is up, your Arc and your Herald of Thunder crits will all proliferate Ignite. It's crazy. There's tons and tons of purple circles everywhere. I love it because the Elementalist has purple hair. She's got lightning and fire all around her. It's amazing. And the chill with the on hits is an added bonus. It's not necessary. Again, this is not freeze, so there won't be any shattering going on. So it's important to build up your defenses with endurance charges, Arctic Armor, Chaos Golem. All those things will help you when porcupines do explode in your face. As for the tree, there are only slight variations and kind of stages of gearing. I will end up respecking out of these spell damage nodes into the energy shield route to build up my defenses as a hybrid character. I will be using mana as my resource. Because I don't have to use 140% mana multiplier Prolif Gem, I substitute it with 115% mana multiplier increased critical strikes chance. And that bumps up my local and my global crit. So now my fire trap is going to crit way more consistently. It's better off just to level up with these spell damage nodes and respec later when your shield has high energy shield, you have a nice helmet, you have a nice chest. Carcass Jack, Restless War, they're both great for this. Restless Ward is a bit more defensive, Karkashak has way more AoE, and the price difference is very, very significant. I do plan on using Intuitive Leap on the right side, as I will pick up the life nodes above Frenetic, get the Frenzy Charge and the Power Charge without getting the duration associated with it, since I will be using a Restless. It is important to note that you'll want to stay away from things like Herald of Ice, or added cold damage to spells, or the new enchantments that give cold damage to your spells and attacks. Because when you shatter a mob, you won't leave that sweet burning proliferation ring around. You will do a lot of damage and it will shatter and it will prevent some stuff from happening, but this is a burning proliferation build. It excels at that, and that's the way I like it. The itemization will be very similar to that of Hedgie David K. I refer you to that high level video. You can see his defenses and what he has going on. I'll link that YouTube video in the description below, so if you want to check that out, that's where I'm headed. I'm excited about this build. There's a really cool added twist with the Elementalist, and it's been a while since I made a witch character. One of the beautiful things about this character is it can start out very cheap on a budget. It's great for having no gear, and it'll scale up into endgame very, very nicely. As for plans of which league I'm planning to play, I think I'm going to play the softcore league this time, and I'm going to play it and beeline it and be one of the first few people to get all the challenges completed. After completing the challenges, I will switch over to hardcore for the remainder of the league. I estimate these challenges taking me anywhere from 3 weeks to 1 month, so it won't be too long until I'm back on hardcore. And there are many other reasons why I think I can really enjoy softcore this league. I'll be able to do a lot of sketchy stuff. I will be pushing for time trials and try to get that daily unique jewel, kind of like a mini demi. And just because I'm in the softcore realm does not mean I'm going to die on purpose or not log out. I'm going to play as if I was playing hardcore. I've had a lot of experience on alpha, and I've crashed so many times on the Azaro fight. I would hate to lose my character to a crash. And it pretty much comes down to me wanting to get the challenges done as soon as possible and over with, so I don't have to make decisions based off of what I'm doing because of the challenges might risk my character's life. For all the hardcore fans out there, you have my sincerest apologies, but I will be back on hardcore in a matter of no time. Meanwhile, I'll be able to avoid any bugs that exist in the game, and I'll be able to continue chipping away at those achievements. I would like to use my currency for building an awesome character and not feel like I'm risking not being able to complete the challenges in a timely manner. I will be running a live visual death counter for all the deaths that are my fault. That excludes deaths from DCs or crashes or power outages. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting the stream. And if you guys need some build assistance, feel free to check out my build compendium guide or my class notes with the Ascendancy. That can be found in the description below or on my Twitch channel. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.